Guys, today we are going to discuss one of the advanced concept of Angular application, that is Angular signals. So before understanding Angular signals, first of all, we need to understand few important concepts. That is why we need Angular signal. We'll also understand what is state and what is reactivity. So once you understand this thing, then we'll start, right? Then we'll discuss what is Angular signal. See, Angular applications are dynamic applications. So what is the meaning of a dynamic? Dynamic means interactive application. Interactive application means based on the user action or based on the user interaction, the data is going to be changed. The data, that means what? That means the data display on the screen doesn't always remain the same data. It changes continuously based on the user actions, based on the application logic, based on the API responses, what we got from the backend services, and many other events. For example, a user enter a product, a user select a category, a product quantity changes, a user logs in and log out, products are added to a shopping cart, search result change when the user enter a search value, the total price change when the right quantity or price value is going to be changed. That means what? Now, whenever data change, other part of the application may also need to change. Sir, what is the meaning of when data change? Other part of the application may need to change. I'm not understanding. Sir, can you please elaborate? Let us try to understand this one with one example. Right? For example, consider an online shopping application. Suppose you selected one product, quantity two. So once you select the product with the quantity two, if the product price is 100, quantity is two, then the total price for that product is going to be 200. That means what? That means this is the data that what I'm currently showing in the UI. Now, suppose the customer increases the quantity to from 2 to 3. So once I increase this value 2 to 3, that means what? That total price also needs to be updated. That means what? That means the application should display this data now. So here changing one value can also affect another value. If I'm changing the price, ultimately the total price is also changing. If this price is updated, then also the total price is going to be updated. So Angular Signal provide a simple and reactive way to work with this kind of changing data. So whenever the data is changing, and based on that change data, if some other data is also going to be changed, then then in such kind of application, such kind of signals, Angular signal is basically coming into the picture. So signal allow us to store values. Signals allow us to modify them. Signal allow us to calculate values from other signals and also allow Angular to track which part of the application depend on those values. If this definition is not right understandable at this point, don't worry, we'll understand this concept in detail in today's session. So, but before understanding Angular signal, we need to understand two important terminology. One is state and another one is reactivity. So when I'm saying state, let us first try to understand what is state. So state means what? The current data. So state represents the current data of an application at a particular point in time. So when you run the application, whatever the data it is showing in the UI, that is nothing but the current state of the application. So in simple words, state tells us what is happening in the application right now. Think about a shopping cart, right? At one particular moment, the shopping cart displays this data. You selected one product laptop, you selected quantity two, so the price is going to be 60,000. User logged in is yes, selected category is yes. So this is what it is showing. Yes, logged in user, you selected the product, right product, and that product belongs to this category. And you selected quantity two, so the total price, if per quantity, right? No, this is not the total price. This is the price of a quantity. So this is what it is showing in the UI. These values, so whatever currently showing in the UI, these values describe the current state of the application. So whatever I'm showing in the UI, that is nothing but the current state of the application. Now, suppose the customer increases the quantity to 3. That means what? That means the state has been changed. Suppose the customer then selects another category. Let's say he selects the mobile category. That means what? Again, the state has been changed. So from here, one point that you need to remember is that state is not necessarily permanent data. State State means what? It is going to display the current application data. And at the same time, that current application data is not always going to be the permanent data. If it is a static website, then Angular is not required. So Angular is basically required when you need to develop dynamic website, when you need to develop interactive website. And when it is a dynamic website or interactive website, the state is never going to be permanent. The data is never going to be permanent. Data can be changed. So it represents the information, state represents the information that is currently being used by the application that may change while the application is running. So whatever the state it is showing currently, that is state. But the state can be changed, right, while the application is running. Clear? What is state? Clear or not?
Yes.
Okay. So for example, let us take an example, right? Layman example to understand this in a better manner. So think about the dashboard of a car. At a particular moment, right? At any particular moment, if you are right running the car, it may show speed equals to 60 kilometer per hour, 50% fuel is remaining. You are running the car in gear four, and the engine is running. So this is what currently it is showing in the dashboard. These values represent the current state of the car. A few minutes later, you see that speed is 80 kilometer, remaining is 45%. You are running the car in gear 5 and the current engine state is running. That means what? The state has been changed. So an Angular application always work in the similar way. It continuously maintains values that describe its current situation. So current situation, what is the current data? At what it is going to describe in the application. Suppose we have the following Angular component. We created one product component. You can see, guys, remember one more thing before proceeding. I need to make it very clear. Today, I'm going to make you understand the basic concept of Angular signal. So by taking some basic examples, some syntax, right, how it is being used, how to create, right, whatever all concepts are related, that's what we are going to discuss in today's session. The real-time application development we'll discuss in the next session. In the next session, I will show you how you can use Angular Signal to develop real-time application, or you can say how Angular Signal is being used in real-time Angular application. But before that, we need to understand the basic concept of Angular Signal. And that is what I'm trying to make you understand. Suppose we are having this product component. So here you can see product name, price, quantity, and is available. So what are these? These are the properties, right? And these properties means what? The product name stores a currently selected product. What is the product being selected? That is price stores the current product price. Quantity store the quantity selected by the customer. Is available store whether the product is available or not. So together, these values represent the state of the product component. So these values are nothing but what it means. It means it is representing the state of the product component. So state can change, right? And we have already discussed state can be changed. So state becomes important. Why? Because the application data usually change. Suppose the current quantity is 2. Suppose the customer selected 2. Now the user changes this quantity to 3. So now quantity becomes 2. So the application state changes from quantity 2 to quantity 3. So changing the quantity may also affect something else. So changing the quantity, does it affect something else? Yes. Where it will happen? Now, once I change the quantity, then that total price is also going to be affected. So quantity changes means total price is also going to be changes. So total price changes means we need to display the new total price in the UI. So that means what? It is not only, so when I'm doing some changes, that changes also needs to be updated somewhere else. Am I right? Right? That means what? That means one value may need to respond when other value changes. So total price needs to respond when quantity changes. Total price needs to respond when that price is also changed. This brings us to understand the next concept, reactivity. So first of all, you guys understand what is state? State is nothing but the data that is being currently displayed in the application. So what is the data currently it is showing? That is nothing but state can be changed. When state is changing, that might be affect some other part of the application. Other application means what? Then the related data needs to be also updated. For example, if quantity is changing, that total price also needs to be updated. Clear? Clear or
Yes.
not? If
Yes.
Yes,
someone
sir.
asks you
Yes,
what
sir.
is Angular data, you have to tell this thing. So Angular state means what? State represents the current data of an application at a particular point in time. So state tells us what is happening in the application right now, right? So you can give the example. So you can also give the layman example, right, for better clarity. Now we need to understand one thing, right? When we are changing the data, then other part also needs to respond to that changed. So how it is possible to understand that concept? We need to understand something reactivity. So what is the meaning of a reactive? Right? The word reactive means responding automatically when something changes. In very simple word, right? When one value changes, another dependent value should automatically respond to that change. We call it reactive behavior. So reactive means what? Now, if I'm changing the product price or if I'm changing the quantity, then other dependent value should automatically respond. So what is that other dependent value? Total price. For example, suppose price is this one, current quantity is 2, so total price it is displaying this. So total price is calculated using this logic. Total price equals to price into quantity. That means what? Now this is one value, this is one value, but this total price depend on this price and quantity. That means what? Now anytime either the price is changing or quantity is changing, we also need to update this total price. So suppose the customer select the quantity as 3, then the total price should become 300, 3000, because the total price depend on the product price and quantity. Therefore, whenever the price or quantity changes, total price should respond to that change. Total price should respond to that change. That is called reactivity. Change, right? What I need to show automatically, right? We should not write any manual activity. We should not do any manual activity. It should respond to that change automatically. If it is responding automatically, then that is nothing but reactivity. Reactivity means responding automatically, right, whenever something is happening. Right? When one component is changing, that dependent component is also going to be changed. When one value is changing, the dependent value should automatically respond to that change. And if it is responding automatically, then that concept is called as reactivity. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us try to understand one layman example. Consider a simple calculator. Suppose you enter 10 plus 20. The calculator shows 30. Now you change this value 20 to 50. So instead of 20, you write 50. So you expect the answer to become 60. You do not want the calculator to continue displaying this 30. The result reacts to the input. Angular signal help us create similar reactive response relationship between application values. So basically, whenever I'm doing some changes, automatically that changes is going to be reflected in some other places. Or you can say the dependent component or dependent value should also respond automatically whenever something is happening. And that is what you can implement very easily in Angular using the concept called signal. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now we need to understand what is Angular signal. See, Angular signal is a reactive wrapper around a value. So basically, it is a wrapper around a value. So the particular terminology you need to understand, wrapper is this Angular signal. It is a wrapper around a value. So the way we are creating normal variable, in the same way, we need to create this signal, but that value it is going to append, or that value it is going to hold within a wrapper. So basically, it is a wrapper you can consider around the value. If this statement is not clear at this moment, Angular signal is a reactive wrapper around the value. This is the official definition. Don't worry. We'll understand what is the meaning of this particular statement practically. And or in simple words, you can say a signal store a value. A normal variable also store a value. The signal also store a value. We'll also discuss what is the difference between a normal TypeScript variable and a signal variable, and when to use what. That's what we will discuss. But for now, just remember, a signal stores a value and allows Angular to track where that value is being used. So it is not only going to store that value, it is also telling that Angular, hey, Mr. Angular, this is a signal. Please track where this value is being used. That means what? Now, which dependent component or which other part of the application using this value? Whether this value is being used within the TypeScript, whether this value is being used in the template, that what is going to be tracked by whom? It is that is going to be tracked by Angular. When the signal value changes, Angular can identify the consumer. Consumer means the dependencies that depend on that signal. For example, see, product name. If you are creating a normal variable, how you can create it? Normal variable means you can create something like product name equals to lab. Now, this is a normal variable and this is a signal. So basically, if you remember, so this variable product name holding a value lab. So in this case, this is nothing but your value. But now that value we are storing inside signal. So this is my variable. So now this variable pointing to the signal. Here it is pointing to the laptop. Here it is pointing to the signal. But signal internally holding what? It is internally holding a value. So signal is nothing but a wrapper around a value. So that value it is going to hold. Again, the way you are using, technically it is storing the data only. Two things it is handling. One, it is not only storing the value, but also it is keep tracking where this value, where the signal is being used. So whenever the signal value changes, the dependencies are also going to be react accordingly. And for example, here signal laptop creates a signal. So here laptop is the initial value that is being stored in the signal. Product name store the signal. So in this case, product name store the value. In this case, product name store the signal. But what is signal? It is a wrapper around the value. That means whatever the initial value, that is we are storing inside the signal. So that is the reason why we are saying signal is a wrapper around a value. So signal basically it is a wrapper which is going to hold a value. Value you can use also, right? Not only the signal storing this value, but also it is keep tracking where this right signal is being used. That means which other part of the application using this signal, so that when I'm changing this value, they can respond accordingly. How they are going to respond, we'll see. But now, is that clear? What is signal?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. One more thing, a signal core can store almost any type of a value. You can store number, string, boolean, object, array, any value you want, you can store. So how to create a signal? The syntax is, first of all, you need to import the signal from the Angular core library. Then you can use this signal wrapper to create a signal. The basic syntax is signal, what is the initial value? Some other example you can take here, price 50,000, customer name Pranay is available. So here boolean value, here string value, and here the integer value. So the value passed to the signal becomes the initial value of the signal. Okay. So now clear how to create a signal, the syntax.
Yes.
Okay. Now, why do we need signal? See, Angular application contains values that frequently change. These changes may happen because of many reasons. For example, the user click on the button, user provided some input, some API response I'm getting, some search operations, some filter, some drop-down selections, some form value, authentication status, shopping cart operation, application settings, right? Because of the many reasons, the data within the application is going to be changed, and that change is also frequently. So when one value changes, other values may depend on it. For example, if my price is this one and the quantity is this one, the total price may depend on both values. If the price is this one, then and what I can say quantity, then total price can depend on these two values. Therefore, if either price or quantity changes, the total price may also need to change. Without a proper reactive approach, developer may have to manually keep related values synchronized. Until and unless I'm not showing you the example, you will not get the clarity, the benefit of a signal over the normal variable. So in some time we will discuss. So before that, what we need to understand is the different types of Angular signal. The signals are categorized into three categories. One is writable signal, another one is a computed signal, another one is a linked signal. So basically, this computed signal, right, you can also consider this as a read-only signal, right? So from the higher level point of view, this writable signal means what? Now, once I created the signal, I can update the signal data using some method, right? For example, what? So can anybody tell me in SQL Server, particularly in SQL Server, how the computed column is created? Can I provide value to the, can I provide manual value or update that computed column value manually? Nice. Basic SQL. No. Because that computed column means based on other columns, that value is going to be calculated automatically. Some other column name, price, right? Some description there, right? They can you can update them automatically. So in the same way, writable signal means what? Now, writable signal is a signal whose value can be changed directly. So if you are creating a writable signal, that value you can change directly. And how you can create a writable signal using the signal function. For example, product name signal laptop. So here we are creating a signal which is holding the value laptop, initial value laptop, and that signal it is stored inside the product name. So here product name is a writable signal. Because it is a writable, means what? We can change its values using methods. So Angular provided particularly two methods. One is set and another one is update. So using this set and update method, we can change this value. So whatever the signal, currently it is holding laptop, we can change this value to desktop, we can change this value to mobile, any value, right? If we want, you can change. And to do that, right, Angular provided us two methods. One is set and update. For example, this dot product name dot set desktop. The signal value, right, change from desktop to right, sorry, laptop to desktop. So a writable signal is a reactive state. So a writable signal is a reactive state that application is allowed to modify. So basically, whenever we are speaking about writable signal means what? That value we can modify directly. If I'm creating a writable signal, it means that signal value we can modify directly. And to modify the signal value, we need to use two methods. What are the methods? Set and update. And what type of values you can create as writable signal? Product name, quantity, price, selected category, search text, login status. So these are some of the common example where you can make use of writable signal. Clear? What is writable signal?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what is computed signal? See, a computed signal contains a value that is calculated from one or more other signals. So basically, in this case, it is very similar to our computed columns. So when I'm modifying other columns, that computed columns is going to react accordingly. For example, if there is a column called right total price, and you created the total price as a computed column, and that price column is going to be calculated based on the other two columns, that is the price and the quantity. So you created that computed column total price as price into quantity. That means what? Now whenever there is a change in the price or in the quantity column, that total price column is going to be respond automatically. That is going to be update automatically. So same thing is also here. A computed signal contains a value that is calculated from one or more other signals. So basically, you have created some other signals. Other signals means some other writable signals are there. So when those writable signals modify their values, this computed signal can respond accordingly. This computed signal can update that value accordingly. But the point that what you need to remember, this computed signal value you cannot modify directly. They are going to be modified when the corresponding signal value is changed. Unlike the writable signal, where you have modified the value using set and update, this is not possible here. Say computed signal is used when one value can be derived from other signal values. It is created using computed. For example, let assume I'm having one signal called price, another signal called quantity. So now, whenever the price value is changed or whenever the quantity value is changed, I want to update this total price. So what I can do is I can create this total price as a computed signal. So using this computed method, and here I can write the logic this dot price into this dot quantity. But this total price value I cannot call or I cannot change using this dot set or dot object method. Anytime you change the price or anytime you change the quantity, this total price is also going to be updated accordingly. So that as this value can only be changed, right, based on the other, as this value can be calculated from other, signals. So this is called as computed signal. We cannot modify this value directly. That is the reason why computed signal is also called as a read-only signal. So we can only, read the value, but we cannot modify the value like set or object method. Clear?
You are saying that we cannot modify the value? Like here, total price will be the signal. In this example, or
Yes.
we are considering as a normal
See,
variable.
modify means what? So when I'm saying modify means direct modification. See, automatically, whenever the price and quantity change, this total price is going to be updated. But unlike here you can see currently product name is a laptop. I can update this value to desktop using this set method or update method. For example, total price is currently holding 1,000. I cannot update this total price to 2,000 using the set method or what I can say update method. That manual modification is not possible. Only when the price is changed or when the quantity is. That means this price and quantity, they are other signal. And when these signals value are changed, this computed signal is also going to update the value. Clear? So when I'm saying
All
we
right,
cannot modify means
but if
we
we
cannot.
declare if we declare total price as a signal variable, then in that case we can do that.
Sorry?
But like the logic wise is different. But I was saying that as we
Yeah,
are
yeah, that,
updating
that is fine. Yes, yes. If you
okay,
put
okay.
that as a signal value, right, you can set.
Mm-hmm.
But that is not the ideal requirement. Why? Because
Yeah.
why should I write? If it is calculating automatically, then why should I do that manually? Right?
That's correct.
So if
Mm.
you create only signal, then we have already discussed that can be changed using set or update. Clear?
Sir, direct
Yes,
value,
yes, yes.
if I assign value directly after signal, it won't consider like a price equal to signal of 10,000. In the
No,
next
it
line,
will.
if I set a price
It
equal to
will.
2,000,
It will not
what will
work.
happen?
See,
It will not work,
now
right?
it is see. You have to remember. Now this is not a normal value.
Okay,
Now
okay.
it is not a normal property. So if
Yeah, I got
this
it.
understand, you can set it directly. But this is not a normal property where you can set the value, normal value. If you want to
Okay,
set, you have to use the set or update method
okay,
like this. Set method, update method is also available. Clear? But if it
clear.
is a computed signal, you cannot use the set or get method. Computed signal means they are going to be created based on other signal. So here, this price is a signal, this quantity is a signal. So once this signal value is changed, automatically that value is going to be updated. Clear?
Clear.
Okay. So now another option is also linked signal. So now tell me, so if I'm using signal, what is the what I'm getting? The signal means you can change the value manually. Computed means that is going to be reflect when other signal value changes. Linked signal, combination of a signal and computed. Sir, what is the meaning of this? Now, a linked signal is useful when a value depends on other reactive value, but still needs to be remain as a writable signal. For example, what? Now, this signal value, for example, now in this case, if you look at this example, currently this is computed. Why? As it is computed, it can only be calculated based on the other signal value. But I cannot modify this total price. But if I create this total price as a linked signal, Guys, remember, if I create this total price as a linked signal, then what will happen? Now, this is linked signal means it can be calculated based on the other signal value. Plus, I can also update this total price using set and a update method if it is a linked signal. So, signal, you can write it, it can store a initial value like this. You can update this initial value using set or update method. Computed, it can only be calculated from other signal values. And the last one is linked signal. Linked signal means what? Now it can calculate based on other signal. Plus, you can modify that value or write it manually using the set and get method. Let us try to observe one example. See, the syntax how to create this we'll see in some time. But for now, just remember one example. Suppose by default, when the country is India, the default payment method is going to be UPI. If the country changes, right, for example, USA, the default payment method needs to be selected as a credit card. That means that now by default, if the country is India, I need to select the payment method, default payment method as UPI. When the user select the country USA, I want to select the default payment method credit card. That's what I can implement using Signal. But at the same time, we also want the allow the user select the payment method by its own. So, for example, the user can manually set the payment method as PayPal. That means what? Now, in this case, the payment method has two requirements. What is? Now, the payment method depends on the country, right? Depend on the country. The default payment method is going to be selected. Plus, the user can also change the payment method manually. This is an appropriate scenario for linked signal, right? If this is not clear at the moment, right? Don't worry. All the signals, right? All the examples like how to create a signal in Angular, how to use computed signal, how to use linked signal, right? We are going to discuss practically. But before that, what we need to understand, how we can read a signal, how we can read the signal value within a TypeScript class, and how we can read the signal value from a HTML template. For example, I'm having this product signal, right? A product name signal. So if this product name signal, say, if it is a normal variable, how you can write this? If it is a normal variable, how you can write? For example, right? You can write something like this. Right? To read this product name, how you can write? You can simply write this dot, right? This is this dot product name, right? So this is how you can write. But if it is a signal, then how you can write? If it is a signal, then what you need to do? You need to use the function parameter, parenthesis. So here you can see product name. This is a normal variable. I'm accessing this as a normal variable, but this product name, it is not a normal variable. What is this? This is a signal. So signal means I have to use the parenthesis. So when I'm using parenthesis, means it is a signal. If I'm not using parenthesis, it is a normal variable. So you can say this is a normal variable, but this is a signal. As it is a normal variable, I'm accessing that variable directly, but as it is a signal, I have to use the signal. Signal in the sense parenthesis. Parenthesis represent the signal. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So again, same, right? In the from your UI, you need to use interpolation like something product name, right? Price. So this is how you can use. So what is the difference between a normal variable and a signal in Angular? Right. So you might get this question in the interview, right? What is the difference between a normal variable and a signal in Angular? A normal variable store a value. For example, product name lab. So in this case, this is a normal variable of string type, which is going to hold a value lab. A signal also store a value, but additionally participate in Angular's reactive dependency system. Reactive dependency system means what? Now, reactive dependency system means whenever the value changes, it can also, right, the dependency values, they can also react accordingly. They can also react accordingly when the signal value is changes. For example, so in this case, product name, it is a signal. So with a normal variable, we can read the value directly. You can see product name and you can change it using the assignment, right? Product name equals to this one. With a signal, we can read a value by calling it like this dot product name. If it is a writable signal, you can change the value using set or update method. The important conceptual difference is not simply the syntax. The most important difference is Angular can track reactive dependencies when signals are read inside reactive consumers such as computer. If this statement is not clear at this point, don't worry.
Uh, Here
Yes.
we have set and update. Why we have both? Because with the set we can set, na?
I have not yet discussed what is the difference between these two.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
discuss what is the when to use set method, when to use update method. I will show you practically. Clear? Okay. Now, now let us understand the difference using simple product order example. Suppose the application contains price, quantity, and a total price. The calculation logic is something like this. Total price equals to price and quantity. So initially price equals to 100, sorry, 1000. Quantity to total price is going to be 2000. So first of all, what we will do, we'll implement this example using a normal variable so that you will get the clarity what Angular signal is going to help solve. So this example, first of all, I will implement using the normal variable. Then I will show you what is the issue, how you can overcome the issue using normal variable. And then I'm going to show you, or you can say, I'm going to rewrite the same example using Angular signals. So let us proceed and understand these things. So first of all, you need to create an Angular project, right? And now I have already created the project, right? Currently you can see this is a very simple project. I have not created anything. So here I'm going to work with this default app.ts and the default HTML file. So this is what I'm going to use. Okay. So now let us proceed and understand this. First of all, let me create the component. So this root component and the root template I'm going to use. See now in this case, first of all, you can say I'm not here. Guys, remember, in this example, I'm not using signal. So I'm not going to explain what is this component. So component is basically going to mark this as a component. And then you can see I'm storing a normal variable price 100 quantity 2. And here total price equals to this dot price and this dot quantity. And the increase quantity method means simply it is increasing the quantity by 1. This dot quantity plus 1. Whatever the existing quantity, it increase the quantity by 1. Logic is clear to everybody or not?
Yes.
So
Yes.
simply I declare one variable, another variable, total price is nothing but this variable into this variable, and the increase quantity means it is going to increase the quantity by 1. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the template, right? So this is going to my template. So here you can see this price, this is quantity, this is total price, Angular interpolation I'm using, and this is my button, increase quantity. When this button is clicked, it is going to invoke the increase quantity method, what we defined here, and this method simply going to increase this quantity by 1. Now, okay, what is that URL?
HTTPS localhost 4200.
So this is our project, right? By default, you can see whatever the data we provided, price 1000, quantity 2, total price, price into quantity, this is what it is showing, 1000, 200, 2000. Now, what I need to do, I need to increase the quantity by 1. So I just click this increase quantity. So according to our business rule, right, as per the business rule, if the quantity increased to 3, what should be the total price?
It should be 3000.
3,000.
Okay, let's increase this one. Let's increase this one. Quantity increasing, but the total price is increasing or not?
No.
It's not. Yeah.
No. Then how we can increase? Sorry guys, right? This is not working. Why it is not working? Because in this case, when this total quantity we are increasing, is this logic is going to execute automatically?
No.
So initially, when the page load, whatever value we provided, according to that value, their total price is calculated. So anytime we are increasing, that price is not going to be calculated. Then how we can overcome this problem? Now to overcome this problem, what you need to do, you need to recalculate this logic. Right? So you need to recalculate the price. So basically here you can see, so here I'm writing this total price equals to this price into quantity. So I increase the quantity. After increasing, I again calculate this total price. So with these changes, now come here and refresh this one. So now is this changing? Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right? It is changing. So this is one of the approach to solve this problem. But we must remember to recalculate total price whenever the price or quantity changes, right? So manually, right, we have to remember, yes, I'm changing this quantity, I need to calculate this. Similarly, when the price is changing, again, I need to calculate this one. So why should I do this again and again at multiple places? Is there any better approach where it should respond automatically whenever the price and the quantity is changing? So in this case, if I'm changing the price, again, I have to recalculate this. If I'm changing the quantity, I have to recalculate this. Any better approach where whenever the price is changing or quantity changing, it should automatically update the total price? Yes. This is where angular signal will come into the picture. Clear? What is the problem? Is that clear?
Yes.
Right? So we have to manually recalculate the price. So now we can overcome this problem using angular signal. So let us proceed and do this thing. First of all, for using angular signal, right, whatever the signal you have to use, suppose signal and computer, these two I'm going to show you this, not the lead signal. So component, we know it will mark this class as a component. We are going to use computed signal, and we are also going to use signal, writable signal. So in this case, this price signal 1000 means what? This is going to create a computed signal or writable signal.
Writable signal.
Writable signal means what? We can update this value using set or update method, right? So now the default initial or the initial value is 1000. So initial quantity is going to be 2. Again, this is also signal. So now what I'm going to do here, please observe, I'm creating this total price as a computed signal. And that computed signal means what? I need to use the lambda expression to specify the value. And the value is going to be price into quantity. So now earlier I created this using the same logic, right? This dot price into this dot quantity, but now these are signal, price and quantity. So I'm using that signals operator, right? Price and quantity. And this is a computer. So what is the meaning? What is the benefit? Now Angular track the signal, right? Now Angular track the signal. Angular track, this is price, it is a signal. This is quantity, it is a signal. Total price, this is a signal. And this total price signal is depend on price and quantity. So what exactly it means? It means Angular will keep track when the price is changing, when the quantity is changing, I need to recalculate this total price. Now within the right increase method, what you need to do, you need to increase the quantity. Now this is not a normal variable. If this is not a normal variable, then what method I need to use to update the value? It is signal. If I want to update, then what method I need to use? I have two options.
Set and
One,
update. Set or
Or
update.
update.
in this particular example, I need to use the update method, not the set method. So why I'm going to use set and when to use update, I will show you. But now this dot quantity dot update. Now whatever the existing quantity plus one, that's what I'm setting here. Clear? Clear, guys?
Yes.
Right. So with these changes, now what I need to do, I need to also update.
So, Panna, we have to put computed as well as this one also, right?
Sorry.
Okay. I think I misunderstood. Okay.
Fine. So now we need to update this one. So now you can see now price I'm calling using signal, quantity signal, total price signal, increase quantity. This is. So with these changes, now what will happen? Now let me refresh. Increase quantity 3, 4, 5. So automatically the value is increasing or not? So whenever I'm changing the price or whenever I'm changing the quantity, that total price is going to be updated automatically. Why? Because of signal. So signal means what? Now in this case, Angular keep tracking. This is a signal. This is a signal. When this signal changes, what other dependencies are there? Where this signal is being used? Okay, let me execute them. So in this case, this is a computed signal. So this computed signal depend on price and quantity. That means what? Whenever the price is changing, whenever the quantity is changing, it is going to update this automatically. Clear? For example, okay, let me do this thing. Suppose I remove this one. Clear? Again, this is a normal variable, so I need to update this one also. Now you can see. Clear? So in this case, what will happen? Now this is a normal variable, so I don't need to use that function. But in this case, when the price is changing, it is updating this value also. Why? Because it will respond when the price is updated. So this computed signal is going to respond when the quantity is going to be changed. Clear?
Yes.
Right. So now let me use this tool here.
If it is not signal, if either one is signal, then that is okay. Either both should be signal or one is also okay, but both cannot be.
Sorry. I'm coming to your point. Give me some time.
You are showing one by one. Okay. Is the only example.
Okay. This is the quantity. Okay. So this is what you are talking about, right? So price is there, quantity is there, and this is a computed signal. This dot price and this quantity plus one. Now here also I need to remove this one. This is what you were asking, right? Okay. Now replace this one. So first of all, price quantity is not displaying. Why it is not displaying? Quantity is 2. Okay, I save. I need to save. Is this updating?
No.
No. Why? Because in this case, it is not getting any signal. So this is a computed property. But this computed property, how it will respond? So in this case, it will consider these are normal variable. These are not signal. So now if you make this as a signal, so how you can make this as a signal? So you have to use signal. So now once you mark this as a signal, so now this Angular will track this quantity is a signal. Now Angular will track where this quantity is being used. That quantity is being used within this computed signal. Okay, so when this quantity is going to be changed, I need to update this logic because this computed signal, right, is using that signal. So accordingly, it is going to update. So again, here also you need to update the logic. Clear? Clear? And here again, you have to use that signal. So basically, what exactly it means? If you are creating a computed signal, that must be referred to some other signal, one or more signal. But if there is I mean, that point you have to remember, this computed signal should refer by one or more other signal. It can be one, it can be two, it can be three. But if there is no other signal, means that computed column is not going to work. Sorry, that computed signal is not going to work. Clear?
Yes.
Is that clear? Okay. Now, is that clear or not?
Yes.
So
Yes, clear.
Yes. Anyone having any question, they can ask. So this is a little bit tricky to understand. So you can ask question. I'm
So
happy to
so this
if you are changing price, it won't execute, right? Because
sorry.
that is not signal. Then computer won't execute, right?
If price is
No, no.
changing, it will not it will not update this logic.
Okay,
Why?
okay.
Because in this case, price is not a signal. If quantity is updating, quantity is a signal, so it will execute this logic. re-execute. Clear? Yes or no? Is that clear?
Yes, Varna.
Sir, can you show the where this is binding the total price data?
The UI only I'm writing.
Okay. Here we don't need to do anything.
It is simply say this is just a variable, this is a signal variable, this is a signal variable. So whatever the value, it is holding, that what I'm displaying here. Clear?
Yeah, clear.
Now,
Reactive.
yes. Clear or anyone having still any question?
Sir, if
Sir,
we, yeah, here if we give, hello, yeah, 1 minute. If we give like total price as a normal variable, it will not work, right? Must and
We
should
have
for
already
computed.
discussed. The past
Okay.
example, what we discussed using normal variable, it will not work. You have to manually update the value. First
Yeah.
example,
Okay.
what I have shown using normal variable only, right? So this is the first example we created. Price, quantity, total price. So total
Yeah,
price is a
I'm correct. Sir.
will not
So
work.
if we have computed a signal, must and should we have to use that as an variable must be in signal format only. We have to
If
give.
you are using the computed signal, that computed signal should have at least one other signal,
Okay.
right? So that whenever that other signal is changes, this computed signal is going to respond automatically. That is the concept of reactivity. Clear?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Anyone else having any more question? Okay. Now here we need to understand, right? Two more important method. One is right what I can say, set. Another one is update. So basically, the set method is used to replace the current value of a writable signal with a new value. That means what? Now suppose you are having one value and you want to completely replace it with a new value, and whatever the current value you doesn't care. For example, right, current value is laptop. You want to update it to mobile. So you can make use of set method, right? That means at the point that what you need to remember, you need to use set method when you already know the complete new value. The new value doesn't depend on the existing value. Then what when to use update method? Update method is used, right? The update method is used when the new value depends on the current value of the signal, right? For example, the quantity. So if I want to generate a quantity in this case, if I don't know what is the current quantity, how I can increase that quantity by 1? So in this case, can I use set? No. Why? Because I need to depend on the existing value. So when you need the current value for generating the new value, in that case, you need to make use of update method. And if you are completely generating a new value where the existing value doesn't matter, in that case, you need to use the set method. So if someone asks you this question in the interview, you have to explain like this. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now if this is not clear, let us try to understand with one example. So how to make use of this set and the update method. Practically, I'm going to show you one example. Let me show you. So in this case, this product name, it is a writable signal. So when I'm using signal means it is a writable signal. Writable signal means what? Now, using this product name, I can update this signal value. So this price, it is also a signal. Quantity, it is also a signal. So now what I'm doing here, I'm calculating the total price, and this total price, you can see it is a computed signal. So based on the right price or based on the quantity, it is calculating the total price. That is fine. So now I want to change the product. So whatever the product name, laptop, that's what I want to change. If I want to change the product name, do I need the existing laptop value? I want to modify that laptop to mobile. Do I need the existing value?
Not required.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Not required.
Not required. If the existing value is not required, then what method I need to use? Or set method or update method?
Set.
Set method.
Set. See, this dot product name dot set method. Now the price is going to be updated. So whatever the existing price, do I need that existing price if I want to set a new price?
We need the existing value.
Yes or no? Do I need the existing price?
Yes.
Why? So if the current price is 1,000, I want to update that price to 2,000. Do I need that current existing price?
No.
No.
No. So be practical. So in this case, you can make use of the set method. Why? Because existing price is not required. But if I
Correct.
want to increase the quantity,
Yeah.
can I, so should I know what is the current quantity? If I want to
Yes.
decrease the quantity, do I need to know what is the current quantity?
Yes. Always
So if
required.
yes, if I want to increase the quantity or if I want to decrease the quantity, then in that scenario, what method I need to use? Method or
We
update
can
method?
use the update.
Update.
Okay, so here you can see update method. What is the current quantity plus one? What is the current quantity? If the current quantity is greater than one, then current quantity minus one. Otherwise, whatever the current quantity, that is what it is going to go. Clear?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that clear? When to use set method and when to use update method?
Yeah.
Clear? Okay. Now let us start to observe this with the UI. So let me update the UI part also. So here you can see I'm displaying the product name, I'm displaying the product price, quantity, total price. I have provided one button to change the product. I have provided one button to change the price. I have provided one button to increase the quantity and decrease the quantity. Okay, let me open this UI. Right. So currently product name is laptop. So change the product. See, it is changed to moment. Change the product price. So currently price is 1,000. So I update it to 1,500. You can see automatically that right, the total price is updated. Increase the product quantity. Okay, let me 4. The total price is 6,000. Decrease the quantity. Okay, I click 1, 2, 3. After then I click, it will not affect. Why? Because that logic we have written here. If the product quantity is 1, then you cannot decrease that to 0. So it will never become 0. Clear, guys? Clear or not?
Yes.
Okay. Now we need to understand what is linked signal. So we understand what is signal. Yes, signal means it is a writable signal. We can update the value using set and update method. Computed means it is a computed signal which can be generated based on other signal value, but we cannot modify the signal value using the set and update method. Now we want both approach. Both approach means what? Linked signal. Linked signal means what? Now the linked signal means that value can be generated based on other signal value, but at the same time, we can also modify that signal value using set and a get method. Clear? Clear or not? The combination of a writable and computed is nothing but linked signal. Suppose, let's take an example. Suppose we have an online shopping application. The user select a country. If the country is India, right? If the country is India, the default payment method should be UPI. If the country changes to USA, the default payment method should become credit card. However, the user should be able to manually change the payment method. So let us proceed and see how we can do this. First of all, linked signal. So this signal should return a value. What type of a value this is going to return, that what we need to specify. And for example, linked signal of string. So here, if the country equals to India, payment method UPI, otherwise a credit card. So this is what we have said. So let us proceed and see this with one real time. I mean that practical example. Suppose I modify the code. See, what is this? This is a signal. Which type of a signal is this? This is a writable signal. Writable signal means what? You can modify the value using the set and update method. Clear? The first signal is clear.
Yes.
Clear or not? Okay. So what is this? This is a linked signal. What type of a value it is going to return? String. So if the country, this dot country, you can say this dot country, if it is India, which we have set initial value, then what it is going to return UPI. If it is not India, then it is going to return credit. Clear? So this is a linked signal. And how to create a linked signal? Using this syntax. Clear? Instead of a computer, you have to use linked signal and you have to specify what type of a value this signal is going to return. Clear? This part is clear?
This thing we can also do without link signal, no? This method we can get UPI or credit card.
So how you can do this without a linked signal? Tell me. Using computer. See, what I'm trying to make you understand is, so if I'm using this as a computed signal, then can I modify this value directly using the set and update method?
Oh no.
So by default, if the country into India, UPI is selected, but I want to make the payment using PayPal. How I can do this thing? So I have to update that payment method. So if it is a right, what I can say computed, you cannot update that method. I mean that payment method manually. So I want to update that manually. So that is the reason why I'm going with this linked signal. See now, if the country is changed to USA, right? Country change. You can see this country. What is this? This country is a signal. So writable signal. So you can set this value to USA. So change method. So you can also change the payment method. So payment method dot set. Now you can see this payment method. It is a linked signal. Linked signal means you can apply the set method. So set PayPal. But if this you created as a computer, then you cannot call this set method. Getting my point?
Yes, Barney.
Okay. Now let us update the UI also. Okay, so country I'm displaying, whatever the payment method by default, it is displaying that what I'm showing. If I'm changing the country, then what is happening? And I can also manually get the payment method. That's what I'm showing. See? Okay. So here you can see this display. Okay, I have not updated this one. Okay. See, by default, the country is selected in India. Why? Now, if you look at this, the default value of this country signal is India. Now, for our country signal India, right, what is happening? Now, it is executing this payment method. And if country is India, then by default, it is selecting UPI. Now, if I change to USA or other country, then what payment method it is going to display? Credit card. And this time, if I'm changing the country, then automatically it is going to reflect. Right? I mean, this linked signal, this country, it is a signal. So when that country signal is updating, this linked signal automatically going to respond. So let me change this to UPI. So once I change the country to USA, you can see that payment payment method is also updated to credit. Now, can I set this payment method manually? I don't want to use credit card. I want to use PayPal. Okay, click on this. So you can see payment method is also updated. The same thing is also available for India. India UPI. Now you want to use PayPal. You can click on this one. So accordingly, it is going to update the clear. Clear or no?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Angular Signal provides a simple and reactive way to manage changing data in an Angular application. Using Signal, right? Using Signal, we can store a writable state with the set and a update method. We can change the data. With the compound, right? What we can do, we can create values that depend on at least one other signal, depend on at least one other signals. At least one other signal. And with the linked signal, right, we can create dependent values that are still writable. Clear? Clear or not?
Yes.
So this is the basic concept of signal. So in the next session, right, what we are going to discuss we are going to develop a real-time application. Real-time application using the signal concept along with the database activity. So that how to communicate with the database and how effectively signal is going to work, right? That's what I'm going to discuss. Clear, guys?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Anyone having any question?
Sir, can you
Yes,
please explain that linked signal once like?
Oh, because we have confusion in that
sorry.
linked signal. See, I am also getting like
Yes.
see here India is a signal, like we are setting country is also a signal, and
Okay. Let me give you
we
the
are
clarity.
changing that signal. Okay, but here we are not computing, we are returning as a string.
First of all, let us try to understand. So signal means what? This is writable.
This is right. It has some value, we can update it. Yeah.
Writable means what? I can make use of set and a object
Update.
method to modify the signal value. Clear? This part is clear.
That is clear.
The computed means what? Read only.
We are evaluating. We are
Read only. Read only means what? No set or update method. No set, update method. No set or update method. Value generated based on other signals. Clear?
that's clear. Yeah.
Other signal. Linked signal means what? Combination of both signal and computed. So when I'm saying both signal and computed means what? Now as both signal means what? Can I modify the data?
Yes, we can modify the
Using set and update. Set and update? Yes. Right. At the same time, computed means can the value be generated automatically?
if you compute, we will get a new value.
Automatically when the corresponding signal changes. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Now, so if you understand this thing, now come to this part. So this is a what? This is a right.
It is a writable signal. Yes.
Right. So now here what I'm writing here, I'm creating a linked signal. Clear?
Okay. Yes.
So in this linked signal, what exactly it is doing? It is having one ternary operator. What is that ternary operator is doing?
Yes, it is ternary operator. Yeah.
Right. What exactly this ternary operator is doing? Now
Based
it
on
is
the condition,
checking
it will evaluate.
what
Yeah.
is the current signal value of a country. If it is India, it is going to return UPI. Otherwise, it is going to return what? It is going
Credit
to
card.
return credit card. This is very similar to your computed signal. Clear?
Yes, we are evaluating here country India, and then okay, and then we are payment method here. We can either UPI or credit card. It means it is updating, na? You
Yes,
means
so
that way.
here we are writing this logic, right? And simply it is going to return a value. What type of value? String value. If the country in India, it is returning UPI. That UPI is going to store here. Otherwise, it is going to store credit card. And this is very similar to your computed signal. Because in the case of computed signal, based on other signal, that value is also going to be generated. And the same thing is also we are doing within this linked signal. Clear?
Yes.
Yes. But as this is a linked signal, then can I set this value directly using the set and the get method?
Yes, we can.
Yes. So now, see, I'm setting this value directly to paper. Yes or no?
Yes.
But
Okay,
if
okay,
it
I
is,
think I got it. Yeah.
if it is a computed signal, then can I use this method?
No, then it will not provide set or update. Yeah.
Right? So now, so you have to remember signal means writable, computed means read only, linked signal means combination of writable and computed. Clear?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So in the next session, we'll discuss how to develop one real-time application using Angular signal. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Can you share the document also? Previous class also.
I've already shared the previous class document. I'm not I share the document.
Share.
Yes, yes or no?
Sure.
Share. Share.
Yes.
In the public
Yes.
group also I have shared.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.